Good evening. On behalf of the Board of Trustees of Protect Our Defenders, I welcome you to this evening's celebratory occasion featuring a panel of inspiring advocates who have distinguished themselves in the service to protect our defenders. Before that, however, let me say how important the work of Protect Our Defenders is in doing for many what they cannot do for themselves. It's been a personal pleasure for me to be a part of this work and serve as a member of the Board of Trustees for the last several years. Let me begin by saying that many years ago, as a young man on the brink of launching a career in the Foreign Service, I moved from Chicago to Washington, D.C., and lived for a time with an uncle who was a sergeant in the Marine Corps stationed in the District of Columbia. Military life in the Marines being what it was, I learned firsthand of the issues and problems that many of my uncle's fellow Marines faced. For the record, that was the Vietnam War era. With those memories still fresh in my mind after all those years, our racial disparity report clearly shows that over time, much has changed, and yet much remains the same in need of change. Today, through the work of Protect Our Defenders and efforts such as the Racial Disparity Report, many of today's aggrieved soldiers have been given a voice. Tonight, we will celebrate our success and point to the important and powerful work and support of our community of advocates. It's been particularly gratifying for me to serve with many of them on our Board of Trustees. I'm delighted that tonight you will hear from them, or at least several of them. The upcoming panel will be led by Paula Coughlin, who will introduce Darshell Mitchell, Heath Phillips, and Bridget McCoy. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too.
Welcome. I am so excited to be here with everyone. Each of you have been able to transform your personal challenges and suffering into a powerful voice for change. Starting with you, Darshell, I'd like to ask each one of you what it has meant to you to feel supported and get help from Protect Our Defenders, and now be able to help and support other survivors now.
When I went through all of this in the military, it was devastating for me. I used to go to work looking at the ground because I could not make eye contact with people because these people were looking for ways to tear me apart. But no, Protect Our Defenders said just that. We are going to protect our defenders. When Congresswoman Jackie Spear, she stood in front of Congress and she spoke amazing words, but the only thing that I heard when she said, "I will speak for you," and she said my name, she said Darshell Mitchell. And in 10 seconds that she used my name, I felt like a person. She humanized me and made me feel real again. My children saw a stronger mother. My family, they saw a sailor that my father can be proud of. And I actually looked at this uniform because at first I hated it. I hated the uniform with everything and every change that went with it. I hated every part of the uniform. But Nancy told me, so did Don, you make that uniform. And I am the person in that uniform. And if I want to make changes, I have to be that change. They were my suit of armor.
I love the imagery of Protect Our Defenders actually being a suit of armor for you. And I think we all kind of feel that way. I'm so glad that you feel empowered. These are really beautiful, experiences. Heath, do you want to give a shot at my question?
I spent 20 years as a alcoholic drunk due to my things and not having help. some of the biggest things that helped me get my courage and my strength and be able to keep myself moving forward. I've been on the Hill. I've been fighting for the Military Justice Improvement Act. I've petitioned for legislation changes to help victims and survivors. I have Protect Our Defenders supporting me at the forefront. So I'm not alone anymore.
Right. You're actually the vanguard. You're the pointy end of the spear. I think all of you are. Bridget, I'd like to ask you, what has it meant to you to both be supported by Protect Our Defenders and now be able to offer your help and support to survivors?
Being a survivor, experiencing sexual trauma was horrible. It was a horrific situation for anyone who went through it. I think out of it, though, this is the beauty in the ashes. Protect Our Defenders has been that for me. I can give you a little bit of my personal story. In 1992, I was standing in North Carolina at a university, listening to a testimony of a woman who was telling her narrative of her experience, and that woman was you. And I want you to understand that you mean a lot, because that was the first time I ever heard anyone say the things that I knew and have been carrying in my heart for a year that I could not utter. And I looked at your face and I wished you well through the TV, because I knew I didn't have the courage to speak forward like you did at that time. Because of this, we want to make sure that, of course, others coming behind us know that they're not alone. And so, as a surprise to you, Protect Our Defenders Board of Directors has created a Coughlin Courage Award in your honor. And so I wanted to show you this lovely award that has been created. This award will be presented annually to an individual who has demonstrated courage and devotion to eradicating sexual violence, harassment, and discrimination in the military. And so it's going to be named after you. So your legacy will not just be in the hearts and minds of men and women who experience sexual trauma and recover and become survivors, but also the award will continue on in your name.
You ambushed me, and now I'm all emotional, and I'm just blown away. There was no organization there for me 20 some years ago, almost 30 years ago. And Nancy organically grows this organization to meet a need. We are bringing justice, more dignity, more respect, and really concrete changes to our military.
You have been our heart. You've been our soul. You are the best.
You guys are killing me.
Love you, Paula.
I love you back.
I had to do a virtual hug with her
I'll give you a
yesterday.
big virtual hug now, too. I feel like I need a hug, you guys. Yeah. I just feel like it's been a really great day.